Have you ever felt like you were stuck in the same place? As if you were running, trying your best, giving everything, but never leaving the starting line? It is like life is a treadmill. You move, you tire, yet you remain exactly where you began. Many people live like this. They wake up, go to work, and do everything they believe they should. Yet deep down, they feel nothing truly changes. This growing frustration brings along the question, is it me? Am I doing something wrong? Here's a hard truth, but one that can set you free. The problem might lie in your mindset. It is not your effort or your ability that is holding you back, but the way you see life and the opportunities around you. Believe it or not, what you think shapes what you do. If your mind is full of invisible barriers, even with all the right tools and opportunities in front of you, you might still be unable to make the most of them. But here's the good news. Your mindset can be changed. And when you change the way you think, everything changes with it. Today, I will show you the invisible mistakes that are hindering your growth. Those seemingly harmless thoughts that are secretly dragging you backwards. And most importantly, I will show you how to rid yourself of them once and for all. If you want to break free, evolve, and achieve what you desire, stay with me until the end of this video. What we discuss here might be exactly what you need to unlock your life once and for all. And while you're here, do subscribe so you won't miss any of our videos. How many times have you had an incredible idea, something that really excited you, only for doubt to appear before you even took the first step? That little voice in your head saying, what if I make a mistake? What if it goes wrong? What if I am not good enough? And then, what happens? You start convincing yourself that you are not ready yet, that you need to study more, prepare more, wait a little longer. And so time passes, opportunities slip away, and before you know it, you are still exactly where you began, while others, perhaps not even as talented as you, are out there making things happen. Let me share a secret with you. No one ever feels 100% ready before they start. Not great entrepreneurs, not successful artists, not champion athletes. They all began full of doubts and fears, yet they started regardless. Because the truth is, we only truly learn by doing. Think about when you learned to ride a bicycle. You did not wait until you knew everything about balance, speed, or how to pedal without falling. You simply got on, tried, fell a few times, and kept trying, until one day, without even realizing, you were riding fearlessly. In life, it is the same. You do not need to know everything before you begin. You only need to take that first step, for it is on the journey that you learn. So, stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop thinking you need to be better, smarter, or more prepared. Start with what you have right now. Make mistakes, learn, adjust, and improve. But most importantly, just begin. If there's one thing that stops many people from growing, achieving their desires, and truly changing their lives, it is the fear of failure. But do you know the real problem with this fear? It stops you from even trying. It paralyzes you before the race even begins. Now, let me tell you a truth that could change your perspective. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is the pathway to success. Look at anyone who has achieved something great. A champion athlete, a successful business person, a celebrated artist. They have all failed, not once or twice, but many times. They made mistakes, stumbled, and had moments of doubt, yet they never gave up. This is where the difference lies between those who grow and those who remain stagnant. Winners are the ones who learn from their mistakes and keep on trying. Think back to when you were a child learning to walk. How many times did you fall before taking your first unaided steps? Many, didn't you? And do you know why you didn't give up? Because no one told you that falling was the end. You simply got up and tried again. And that is how you learned. Now, imagine if after your first fall, you had thought, perhaps walking isn't for me. That would be absurd, wouldn't it? Yet, many adults do exactly that. They try once, and if it doesn't work, they give up. They forget that making mistakes is a part of learning. So, think about this. What would you dare to do if you knew that failure was not the end, but merely a step along the way? What would you achieve if you realized that a mistake does not mean you have failed, but rather that you are evolving? What truly stops you from growing is not the mistake itself, but the fear of making one. If you wish to change your life, you must accept that failing is part of the game. The secret is not to avoid failure, but to learn from it and keep moving forward. Because those who persist eventually succeed. Please do give a thumbs up to help our channel continue producing videos and to help us grow. How many times have you thought, I want to change, I want to start something new, but today I just don't feel like it. I'll start on Monday. I need to feel more motivated first. If you have ever caught yourself thinking this, know that it is one of the biggest mistakes that can prevent you from growing. The truth is, motivation comes after action, not before. It might seem strange, but consider this. Have you noticed that when you start something, even without much desire, after a while you catch the rhythm and begin to enjoy it? It might be something simple like tidying your room. At first, you might procrastinate, but once you start, it's as if energy appears out of nowhere, pushing you to finish. This happens because our brain works on momentum. When you stand still, waiting for motivation, nothing happens. But when you act, even without initial desire, your brain recognizes the importance of what you are doing and begins to generate the energy needed to continue. Now, think of someone who goes to the gym every day. Do you think they wake up feeling motivated all the time? Do they genuinely feel like working out every single day? Of course not. What they do is simply go, even if they don't feel like it at first. And once they start, their body warms up, energy emerges, and by the end of the session, they feel great. If you wait for the perfect moment to act, that moment will never arrive. Motivation does not simply fall from the sky. It is built in the process. So, instead of waiting for the feeling to come, do the opposite. Take the first step, even without motivation, even without energy, even without that initial desire. Because once you begin, your own movement will generate the motivation you thought you needed to start. The secret to changing your life is not waiting for motivation to appear. It is to act first. Let us know in the comments if you are already taking action or if you will start now. Don't put it off. Have you ever refrained from doing something you really wanted just because you were afraid of what others might think? Maybe it was a dream, a project, or a different idea. And then, those thoughts crept in. What if they laugh at me? What if they think it is strange? What if it goes wrong and everyone criticizes me? The truth is, many people stop living their own lives out of fear of being judged by others. But here's the great irony. No one is paying as much attention to you as you might think. This might sound harsh, but it is liberating. People are far too busy with their own problems, insecurities, and concerns. They might notice what you do for a brief moment, but very soon, they return to focusing on themselves. Now, think about how many times you have worried about something you did, fearing the opinions of others. You might have dwelled on it for hours, perhaps even days. But what about the others? They moved on with their lives, and maybe they didn't even notice. And even if they do notice and talk about you, it does nothing to change your life, unless you allow it to. Look around you. How many incredible people have given up on their dreams because they were afraid of being judged? And how many others, who dared to follow their own path, are now admired for doing something different? The truth is simple. Those who judge you do not pay your bills. They do not live your life, and they have nothing to do with your choices. So, stop living to please others. Stop measuring your steps by what others might think. At the end of the day, the only person who will have to live with the consequences of your choices is you. Take control of your own story. Do what truly makes sense for you. Because when you stop caring about what others think, life becomes much lighter and entirely your own. If you have read this far, you already know what is holding you back. You have realized that it is not a lack of ability or opportunities. What stops you from growing is inside your own mind. And the best part, this can change. But this change does not happen by itself. It is not enough to simply listen to these words and agree. You need to act. You need to decide, today, that you will no longer hold yourself back. If you want to grow, you need to change the way you think. You need to stop waiting for the perfect moment to begin. You need to understand that making mistakes is part of the journey and that failure is not an end, but a lesson. You need to stop waiting for motivation to knock on your door and instead take that first step, even if you do not feel like it. You need to set aside the fear of what others might think, because no one lives your life for you. The change you want in your life begins within your own head. But here's one crucial point. There is no use in starting tomorrow, on Monday, or next month. The right moment to act is not in the future. It is now. Life moves fast. The time you spent waiting is gone. But the time you have ahead of you can be extraordinary, if you decide that it will be. So, the choice is in your hands. Will you continue to stand still, repeating the same mistakes? Or will you begin to act and finally unlock your life? What will you choose?